Well, hello. You are hiking with Jenny on the Appalachian Trail. Today is day 43 and I just left the Lost Mountain Shelter. My first night camping in Virginia went great. We had a bear box, we had a privy. It was like living in luxury. Today I'm just doing, I think it's like 12-ish miles. And I think I'm gonna stealth camp because in the Grayson Highlands, at least you can only like stay at the shelters, I think. And the shelter we would have camped at is like 13 away, and you're supposed to sleep in the shelter. And I have a hammock, obviously, so I can't do that. So I'm gonna stealth camp. There's like some campsites before that I'm gonna head to. But exciting thing that's happening today is Fresh Grounds is driving out specifically to meet our group, and he's going to be at Elk Garden and right around lunchtime, so it's in about 8 miles, so I'm super excited about that. And before that we'll be climbing up Buzzard Rock. That's in, I think, 4.8 miles. And then after Fresh Grounds, we are climbing up Mount Rogers, which is the high point, at least on the AT in Virginia. I don't know, maybe Virginia in general, but after that is camp. So today won't be a too difficult day. 12 miles and then I think 3,800 total elevation gain today. So, and we got Fresh Grounds in the middle. So that'll be a nice treat and a good way to fuel up for the second half of the day. Oh, I totally forgot. Today is the day of the solar eclipse, and I don't think that we won't see a total eclipse down here in Virginia. I think they're gonna have a better view of it in New England, northern New England. So Brian is probably gonna get to see it, but down here we probably won't get to see the whole thing, but we'll be somewhere around the vicinity of Mount Rogers when it does happen, so might get to see something. I started reading Grandma Gatewood's Walk yesterday. I have the book at home actually, and I had started reading it, but I was reading it with somebody and we never finished it, so I'm starting it over from the beginning, but an audiobook, and I'm super engrossed in it. If you don't know who Grandma Gatewood is, she's the first woman to hike the AT solo, and she did it at 67 years old. She didn't have like the typical backpacking gear, like even of the time. She like made her own like sack and wore like jeans and Keds and stuff, and like she didn't have like a stove. She brought like canned items and stuff, but I couldn't do that. So, I mean, I have like probably some of the close to top of the line ultralight gear, and I still struggle sometimes, so I can't even imagine like the challenges. But yeah, she was one tough lady. And this was in 1955. People didn't really like through hike much like back then. It was sort of like that wasn't even thought about. I'm sure the trail was like not as nicely maintained as it is now, and they definitely didn't have as many shelters and stuff and other amenities that we have today. So instead of like staying at a hostel, you had to like knock on doors and hope that people would like let you sleep at their home. While I'm climbing up Buzzard Rock, I wanted to thank my newest member, Aaron. Aaron is a friend of mine, actually. He is also one of the people that visited me on the long trail. Thank you for joining, Aaron, and thank you as always to my other channel members, Jim B, Thomas Adams, and Rabbit Turtles. Thank you guys so much for your support. And all my channel viewers and subscribers for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, everything. Thank you so much.
Styles in the front of the tires and way down.
I just saw this ahead of me and it just took my breath away. Look at this trail. Oh my God. And then you got the views all around. Look at the sun coming through the clouds over there. So pretty. Right now, going mostly downhill to get to Elk Garden where Fresh Ground will be. And it's going to be, from now, actually a little less than 3 miles. So, really excited. I found a patch of snow. Well, we're at Elk Garden and Fresh Grounds didn't show up, so we're all just having a wet, sad lunch. We have entered the land of the ponies. Look at the pony shoe prints. Oh! We're just leaving Elk Garden and we're gonna climb up to Mount Rogers. From what I've heard, we're supposed to have a solar eclipse in a couple hours, but it's very cloudy, so I don't know if we'd be able to see anything anyway, but we'll see. We'll see what it's like in a couple hours. I just stopped at the Thomas Knob shelter to get water and I made dinner because it is currently rainy and very windy. I need to find a campsite that's out of the wind, so I'm gonna hike on. But supposedly there's a lot of campsites between that shelter and, I don't know, the next mile or so. So hopefully I can find something that's not directly in the path of the wind. I wish the weather wasn't like this. It wasn't supposed to be this windy, but I always seem to get stuck in it. So it's only 4:30, but I seem to have found a spot that's out of the wind, and there, after a half mile from now, there doesn't look to be many camping options, and I know that I can't camp after the 2 mile mark because that would be entering the park, and you're not supposed to camp in the park except for at that one shelter. And I had read that you have to sleep in the shelter, so I'm gonna camp here. This is about as far as I intended to go today anyway. So I know I'm stopping a little early, but I'd rather stop here now than take a risk and not find any campsites further up. Today my ankles were kind of hurting, so I think this is the best plan for me tonight. Well, it's probably not even 6 o'clock yet and I'm in my hammock. It started to rain again, and I haven't hung my food yet because I was thinking if it's this early, I'm probably going to be hungry again in like a couple hours. So I'm just waiting till I'm hungry again and then I'll eat and then I'll hang my food. But I figured I would take advantage of this extra time and do some editing and also work on my stretches and my ankle exercises so that I can be in better shape for tomorrow.
So I think that's basically going to be the end of this video. It was not an exciting day. It was kind of a letdown in a few ways. No fresh ground, worse weather than expected, and no eclipse. But Brian says that he was able to see the total eclipse in New Hampshire, so that's really cool. Thank you for watching and happy trails.